Howdy.
Welcome back to the next episode of Agent Paranormal. I'm here tonight with Travis, and we also got Todd behind the desk tonight.
I am here in spirit.
So,
no pun.
This episode, we're going to be discussing one of the, I'm going to say it's one of the most prolific pieces of equipment that's come to the paranormal in most recent years, and that is the portal. As we know in the room here, the portal is basically it's a piece of equipment that uses multiple pieces of equipment to do what we want, which is actually have a great spirit communication session. So we know about spirit boxes, which is those annoying little radio boxes. And now the portal was devised with guitar pedals to basically clear it all up so that we're only hearing the voices come through.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to ask a question, and I don't know if anybody's going to know this or not in the room anyway.
Well, don't ask it then.
But I'm going to anyway. Frank's box. Is Frank's box based on the SB7's port or the portal? Does anybody know? Because the original Frank's box is where this all came from, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was probably even before. That was Shack Hacks back
Oh
then.
my
I don't
God,
think-
Frank's box. I want to say that's
Just the SB7 portion of it, right? Just the just the radio portion of it.
yeah.
Not the portal where it's got.
That was.
no.
I mean, that
Yeah,
was
that's what I
actually
thought.
before Spirit Boxes. Frank's box.
Yeah.
was.
Right, it's the original concept.
Yeah,
It-
it was-
scanning through channels and
it was a AM/FM radio receiver and
Right.
a white noise generator.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. So yeah, it was like the early Shack Hack.
Yeah.
Which developed into the SB7, SB11s, but
Right.
it was
Yep.
before that. It was like in
Right.
the 1980s.
and then somebody put it on crack and added some pedals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Always gotta tweak.
So basically, like Frank's box. The guy's name was Frank. He
Frank
lost his,
Soshin?
Assumption.
Sumption.
Yep.
Damn it. Thanks.
he lost his daughter and he wanted to communicate with her. So he devised the Frank's box, which, I mean, the original, in which there's no plans of that either, built by,
No, there's very few left.
allegedly built by Thomas Edison.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that was the same thing. Thomas Edison was very close with his mother and wanted to, and promised her that they would still communicate even after she died.
Yeah. There's actually him on record. There's no, like you said, there's nothing physical, but there's on record. He said if we were to communicate with spirits, the only way would be through the radio because it could pick up more sensitive noises.
That was his vague one. There is actually 2 newspaper articles in which he actually talked about building one. But any kind of blueprints or anything like that was believed to be destroyed by his workers because basically after Edison died, everything was left to the company. So they were theory to be fearful that if it got out that he was building this, quack device, everyone's going to think that he had lost it before the end, and they just lose all kind of recognition. So that's one of the theories, is that Edison Company actually destroyed everything. There was no blueprints, there was no mock-up or a build that was ever found. But there's at least 3 articles. The one where he was talking about communicating with the dead, and there was actually 2 more in which he was actually talking about something he had built.
Nice.
Yep. So that brings us to what we're going to do tonight. And for those of you at home, if you would like to try and build a portal, we're going to try and build one right here for you. We already have one built that we have this coming out of the oven.
built it, right? You built this?
Yeah. I built it about a year and a half ago.
Travis is one of Agent Paranormal's master builders.
Master builders.
Yes.
Yeah, something.
So Travis's is actually a little bit different than the one that we even put on the poster for this. The one on the poster is more along the lines of what Huff Paranormal originally built. He was the, we'll say, original builder of the portal. Travis went a little bit more.
Yeah,
and devised it to be a little bit more carry-on.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Yeah. I devised it so I could bring it anywhere with its own power source, so I didn't have to plug it in. And the Steve Huff builds are great, but they're $800 to $1,000 for the original build, and if you can get the mini, that's still around $300. And I haven't checked prices in a while. That could even be more after COVID, and it's harder to get stuff now. So little by little, I got stuff. It's still probably a couple $100 into it, which is the pedals aren't cheap, and they're cheap, but when you start getting into them.
Yep.
The Spirit Box, the SB7, that's around $100. If you're going to order it, made a great Christmas present. They told the wife, "What do you want for Christmas?" "I want an SB7 Spirit Box." She rolled her eyes. "Order it, and I'll wrap it." "Oh, okay."
Wow, cool. Thanks, Santa.
How did you know?
So, since this one is, all prepackaged and everything, ready to go, battery operated.
Yes.
What's the actual battery it runs on?
I run it off. It's a 12-volt, 8-amp-hour battery like you'd have for like a fish finder or something like that on a boat.
Okay.
And then I have a 9-volt inverter on it to run the pedals, because the pedals, you can get pedals that run from 9 volts to 18 volts. Mine run at 9 volts. If you run too many volts into them, you'll burn them out. So for a few dollars more, I bought a 9-volt inverter, wired it in, so I was sure not to burn out the pedals.
All right.
So.
You definitely want to do that if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely want to do that.
So is there anything more do you want to discuss, or do you want to get right into it?
We can get right into it, and I can just explain it as we're assembling it.
All right. Well, for you watching at home, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to get set for you, but stick around. We're going to show you how to build the portal, and then after we get done with that, we're going to run a portal session here. Hopefully we can pick up some conversation.
That would be cool.
All right. So we'll be right back.
I'm going to tell you about EJA Movers is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try anyway, because I'm not the Reed guy, but, EJA Movers, anything you need moved, anywhere, EJA can do it for you. These guys are amazing. EJAmoving.com. Home of the boxes. That's right. They will. They provide the boxes for you. These guys are incredible. They're just great people. Like I said, take anything, anywhere. 315-335-0516. That's EJAmoving.com. Are you guys ready over there? All right. Hold on one second. Let me get you some audio if I can get my mouse over here. Okay, my mouse is lost. There we go.
What's going on?
There you go.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
We are now inside the portal. Show me what's going on here, Travis.
All right, so just to contain it all, I got this little, it's a knockoff Pelican case from Harbor Freight, $20-$30 for them. You don't need this. This was just my thing to keep it all together. So what runs it all, basically, to start, is the SB7 Spirit Box. They have the SB11s. Same thing. It's just AM/FM radio that has a sweep function. It sweeps through stations, like 30 stations a second, or you can slow it down. That's where our signal's coming from. I'll get all the wires out of the way here. Then we're going to start with pedals. So like I said, so I run it through, and I have them numbered so I know which way to run them. I have a noise gate, a noise killer. So it's easier for you to discern, if they're saying something. It's easier to hear with the reverb. And then this, I added in, I have a buddy that's really big into guitars. His son's got a band, and we're at a party one time. They want, "Oh, what do you do? Oh, you go compressor through it. It helps, you can do a little bit more and, a little more distortion and help, lengthen it out. I go, well, I'll give it a shot. So, we're sitting there talking, and Amazon, as evil as it is, that's right, $35, boom, order, buy now. Came to the house a couple days later. You can get everything, order it, or just order piece by piece. I think every pedal is around $30 for the minis. For the cheaper ones, you can get nicer, better ones, but I just went affordable. And then, like I said earlier, I got my 12-volt, 8-amp-hour battery right here, wired in. I don't know if you can see that. That's my 9-volt inverter. So this runs the pedals. Like, so basically what you're going to do.
So the only real difference that we're looking at here from a spirit box is really the pedals do all the work for us.
Correct. Yeah, the pedals will take all that garbage noise that comes through, and they'll filter them out, and it'll make it easier to hear stuff. As you're not going to be straining against all the white noise to hear.
Yep.
The words that are coming out, and you will hear a little bit.
So the noise gate is basically going to shut down the white noise. Anything that drops you below a certain level.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So you're not going to hear that. Once it goes over that level, you're going to hear whatever comes out. And then the reverb is just kind of extending things out, or the delay is just kind of extending it out. So it makes it a little bit easier to hear. I always wondered when I first started here and I heard these things, I'm like, why do they put that on there?
Yeah.
Is it just for effect? Just
no,
it sounds and it does.
It sounds cool, yes,
cool,
but it's so it draws it out exactly like you said. So it's easier for you to hear. If it's very quick or very faint, at least you got that little bit more drawn out. You could hopefully hear it better.
Right. So no white noise. Michael Keaton is out.
Michael Keaton is out. That's the old, in with the new. And the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need patch cables to connect all the noise. Small 9-volt batteries to power individually all the pedals, because you burn through them quick.
This is what happens when you play with power lines every day.
So yes, it is. And there is an order. If you notice, I got numbers on all my pedals. There's a certain order you want to run it through. I want to run it through my reverb first, my sound gate last, and my compressors in the middle. You'll know if you're putting it together and you kind of get it together and it doesn't sound right, or you're cutting all your noise off. You figure out quick. All right, no, that can't go there. This has to go in this line. But if you're at home, really all you need is these two pedals, your amp, and then your SB7 and your cords. You don't need all this other stuff. You can power it off a 9-volt battery. You can buy a daisy chain that plugs into a wall. This actually runs off a 9-volt battery itself, or I could plug it into the 9-volt here. So you really don't need to go as big. And actually, I'm going bigger. I'm building another one, just a little bit bigger, out of an old guitar amp case, so it looks cooler.
A little disclaimer here: while we encourage you to try and build one if you want to use it, we do not encourage you to use it in your own home.
No.
basically, you don't really want to try and open up that communication line with spirits in your own home. And that's kind of our group's belief. It's also multiple other people's beliefs for their groups as well. And the reason for that is not along the lines of you're going to bring in anything bad or anything like that, which could happen. But more along the lines of once you open up that communication and the spirits, if there are spirits in your home, know that there's an open line of communication, it's going to increase all the activity in your home. So if you were not experienced in paranormal investigating and you would like an investigation done of your home, we really push for you to call an experienced paranormal group, have them come in, do the investigation. Because what happens is that group comes in, they do the investigation, they leave. There might be a little bit of activity that kicks up within the following couple of weeks after that, but the spirits kind of realize that you're not the one that they were communicating with, and it kind of dies right back down. But if they realize that they can communicate with you, it's going to be like a toddler trying to get your attention. They're going to kick, they're going to push, they're going to do whatever they can to keep talking to you. So again, we encourage you to try and build these if you're really interested, but don't use it in your own home unless you're ready for that kind of repercussion.
So let me get this straight. You're about to do it in my studio.
Yes, not our problem.
How wonderful.
You're welcome. We're about to kick the show up a notch. All right.
So
put it together.
We'll start putting it together. All right. So let me just
bring some spirits in for Todd.
All right, Todd. You ready, buddy?
Oh, Stay Puft Marshmallow. Stay Puft Marshmallow. Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Okay.
Like
so
paranormal Pokemon here.
So, like I said, we'll take our daisy chain, which is our 9-volt power supply, and we're going to plug her in. You get all our pedals on. And a word about the noise gate, it is variable. So you can have as much of the white noise as you want in there. I usually leave a little bit going, just because I think it helps. But you can dial it down right to 0. Pete has his, and Pete's is probably one of the nicest sounding ones I've ever heard. It just, the words come out. There's nothing else into it. It is amazing.
No kidding. I mean, we went to Rucker Mansion one night, and we were getting answers of where the best sausage in the Utica area would come from. Like, no kidding, perfect answers.
Yeah.
And it was like places that have been closed down for years. Like, Pete knew who they were. I have no idea the company, but they were actual restaurants that were in this area.
And your center one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. I have to just remind myself which way they go in. In and out. Okay. So the reverb will actually be the last one in line. Goes into here.
So is this how you normally set up? Would it be on top of the box, or you leave it inside the box?
I usually put it on top so I can see everything, and I can adjust as the investigation goes on. Then I'll get my SB7 spirit box going.
About to go live.
Get my sweep going. Okay, we don't hear anything yet because nothing's on. I'll turn on power to all my pedals. You can see the lights all lit up. We'll turn on my power to. We're not hearing much, but I can.
You picking that up, Todd, or?
Now she's on and it's ready. Like I said, if I were to adjust the noise gate, I can bring in as much of the white noise as possible. Understand I had this on its fastest sweep rate. My SB7 is on its fastest sweep rate, which is about 30 stations a second. So when you hear actual words coming out of it, that isn't really possible for the amount of time it's on every station. So full words and occasionally full sentences are definitely something we're picking up. like I said, we can turn the lights on, we can give it a little funk going on, and we can start our session.
Spooky.
Yeah, so we can either ask for a spirit technician, which a lot of times we'll do if we want someone there that can help us. A spirit technician is someone on the other side that's like a technician. He can help communications with other spirits, help facilitate us talking to them, and it's usually someone friendly. Pete has pretty much the same spirit technician every time. Yep. I think they're on a first name basis. So, hello, is there a spirit technician there? Up a little bit.
Is there a spirit technician that can help us?
Is there anyone there that would like to communicate with us tonight?
The ghostly microphone that floated in front. Another thing that Pete and other members will tend to add in there is we're only looking for positive white light beings. Basically, we're giving the invitation for something that does not have a malevolent intent. So if we are giving permission only to positive white light beings, we're basically putting that restriction on the box. Doesn't mean it's always going to be there. We have shut down boxes before because we didn't like stuff coming through. But we'll continue to keep reaching out.
And that's something for someone that's building this for the first time and using it. If you're not getting answers that are what you want or what you like or you have a bad feeling about it, shut it down. Mm-hmm. Cut off your permission. I do not give anything permission to follow me home. I do not give permission to anything to do anything to me. And shut it off. Just walk away from it. It's like the old saying, you always had to say goodbye on a Ouija board, you know. Yep. And another thing that like when we're doing some different events and investigations, be polite. Just because they're dead doesn't mean they're not people. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do you like getting yelled at or questions you nonstop about stuff that you don't want to talk about? It's the same for dead people. You know, they don't want to always talk about how they died. Yep. Or
we've had some pretty tough conversations. We get people swearing at us, calling us names. It's part of it. You can usually tell that that's not a malevolent being. It is somebody who's just a jerk. And sometimes you got to put them in their place. Hello? Is there somebody here with us?
Is there someone there that wishes to communicate?
I do want to really stress that if you are very interested in building one of these, I would first seek out a paranormal group in your area and research with them first. Try to join up if you can, and they will work with you on building one of these. If you have no real background, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble with something like this. This is no different than a Ouija board.
Yeah, you're inviting something to come through to speak with you. Hello, is there someone there?
Hello. My name's Kevin. This is Travis. We also have Todd here with us. What's your name?
Are you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. Are you local? Did you live around here?
Where are you from? much like doing any EVP session, you really want to try and stay away from yes or no answers because it's very easy to mishear something. Yes and no is so easy to say, oh, I just heard a yes. Well, no, you didn't. That was just a pop.
Yeah. Also, you want to give time in between your questions. We run into events all the time because everyone wants to talk to it, so you just question after question after question with no time for them to answer. Sometimes it takes a minute to get your answer.
Yep. One thing that we don't have set up here, because we probably have the most expensive one right here, is you usually want a voice recorder set up to record all this, but we have Todd, so Todd's going to do all that for us.
Thanks, Todd.
Capture your new friend. The wonderful studio space you have here.
So another question you'll hear people ask is what dimension? You know, we're in the third dimension, and there's many other dimensions. So you can ask, we're in the third dimension, what dimension are you in? Are there any star seeds out there?
He's in a studio space. Sounds like he's doing drum solos.
Yeah. So one of the things I was thinking about, and I don't know if anybody's done this, is doing an inline recording. That's possible, right? We could throw something in between in between the SB, and I'd say a recorder or something like that, and then push that out into your processors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the GeoBox, which is kind of along the same lines, does that inline recording. Yes, GeoBoxes are upwards of $3,000.
Yeah, I know they're quite expensive.
We worked with one at the Hinsdale House.
Oh, really?
The class had one. It was the coolest looking thing. It would look like an old boombox they built.
Yeah, they turn them. They take old radios a lot of the time and turn them into them. It's pretty amazing.
And one of the mediums that we work with, Chris Moon.
Yes.
He has one, and his looks like an old, the 1940s like radio. Yep. He's got a few of them. He's got at least, I think.
He has Frank's boxes, which are impossible to get. Because Frank Sumption passed away, and no one has them, and Chris Moon got a hold of them. Yep. But with a powerful psychic medium like Chris Moon, I know Vicky had sat with him, and you don't hear the static. She actually heard the voice of the person she wanted to talk to, which, you know, with someone like Chris Moon, you can get that. This puts us, I don't want to say on the same level of someone like Chris Moon, but it gives us the communication options of like a psychic medium.
With us here, we're kind of playing with fire. I mean, we have not the abilities as a psychic medium has. Chris and other psychic mediums that use this type of device, they're able to really catch right off the bat the problem coming through. So they can pretty much put an end to it and stop it from coming through. We're just hoping we're going to shut it down in time that nothing does come through and say a few words, make it go away.
But again, it's Todd's studio, so.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any message for anyone here?
I don't know how many people are watching, but we're usually around 8 or 9.
Sounds like he said 9. We'll have to have a confirmation on that. Can you say the name of anyone in this room?
Again, we're looking for any positive white light beings that can help us. Also, any kind of
spirit technician?
Oh my God, that word. We're looking for a spirit. We're looking for a spirit technician that can assist us as well.
It's like customer service for ghosts, right? Is basically.
Yeah, we're on hold right now.
I don't like the whole music. I really don't.
Yeah, certain people really bring it through. Like I know Pete gets a lot of great responses. When I was doing the event at the Fuller Farmhouse, one group of girls came through, and there was a lot of energy with them. They were very energetic, but they were getting responses like sentences.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they were getting great responses.
That's cool.
They left, and I was getting maybe a one word after that. But they were really bringing it out.
What we're going to do, too, is we're going to put a list of these things up with links to Amazon where some of the Travis has got. We'll put it in the I'll put it in the comments section a little later. I think we got a couple links that I wanted to put on there, so we'll put that out there for you.
Yep.
You could throw us a question on our Facebook page or email.
I'll check those right now.
We'll try to help you however we can, but like Kevin said, you don't want to just jump right into this, sitting at home by yourself with no background or knowledge. It's not something you want to open up, especially at home, where if there's a communication option there, they're going to try using it.
You got AM and FM on this? Or?
Yes.
What are you on right now?
We have FM. FM.
FM.
Okay.
Okay. Is FM okay? Can we switch over to AM?
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll hold here.
All right. Very particular about the station they want to be on, I guess.
Let's touch that dial.
Can you say the name of any of our watchers right now?
Do we have anybody watching?
Chris and Vicky got to be out there.
And this might seem awkward for us just sitting in front of the camera, real close to each other.
Starseeds are just what it sounds like. People that have origins not of this planet, even if they don't realize it. Okay, so we were asked to ask about starseeds again. Are there any starseeds out there? Again, is there anyone out there that wishes to communicate with us? Or any one of our listeners and watchers?
If any of you at home have any questions, let us know.
Or if you hear something that maybe we don't hear at home.
I hope you don't hear it at home. We're here.
Yeah, well.
I thought I heard Todd, but.
And that's the thing is, why we record it is we'll go back and listen, because sometimes you miss it the first time. Do you want to say hi to all our watchers out there? And this is kind of basically what we do in an investigation. We'll sit here for half hour, whatever it takes, and go over that. We'll record it. Sometimes we get great answers. Sometimes it's just like this. And maybe a couple hits, but not much.
Sitting in a dark room talking to ourselves. Well, not a dark room with this thing, but...
It can be. You can turn it on.
Like disco.
Again, originally I put this on here because it changes whenever there's a louder noise. I figured it would help me discern stuff coming through. It doesn't really work the way I want it to, but it looks kind of cool, so I left it.
Right. And then there's, is it the Estes method? Is where they wear blindfold and a headset with a spirit box. That's kind of outside of the portal, I know, but it's
that's a sensory deprivation.
Yes.
Oh my God, what did you say it was?
Estes, I believe it's called method. Estes method or something along those lines. I could be wrong, but
we used to have a setup for that. It was a pair of goggles that would like either change color lights or you could select a light, and then you also put on headphones while playing white noise. It's
well, this one is where, and I use it on the Kindred Spirits that show a lot, where they actually put a SB7 on, blindfold, noise canceling headsets, and then one person asks questions
that the
to
person that's being
with the
deprived
SB,
can't hear, and they'll hear the answer.
And it's amazing that the answers that come out. It's unreal. It's unreal.
I'm really blanking on what that name is. I use that all the time, like up until about 3 years ago.
Right.
And I had some great experiences with that. And it's so crazy what sensory deprivation can do for you. We were actually at a conference in Salem, and I put that on, and I'm sitting there. I was basically just sitting there at the conference table while everyone's just walking around, and they'd come up and ask questions because there's a weird guy wearing goggles and headsets there, and they just want to know what's going on. And I actually got to the point where I had no idea, but Pete had walked right in front of me to get to the other side of the table, and as soon as he passed, everybody saw me go like this. And they like asked me afterwards, why did you do this? And I'm like, I really felt like I had somebody right in front of me, so I went to reach out and touch him. And they're like, well, Pete literally just walked in front of you.
I Googled it. Estes, S-E-S-T-E-S. Estes method. That's what they call it.
Gansfeld experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Is that the same experience, or is that something different?
It's just basically the same thing. Gansfeld, they didn't use the spirit box, but he used just straight up white noise.
Gotcha.
It basically was full sensory deprivation.
Gotcha.
The first time I saw that, they actually did it on Paranormal State, where you like tape the ping pong balls over his eyes and stuff like that.
Yep. I do remember that now. Well, they're not very talkative today, are they?
No, and it could be us asking the questions. If we had someone else in here, Pete could probably get them to sing the national anthem if he wanted to. But
Pete gets everything. I mean, when he asked what dimension you're in, I've heard Pete get 7, 9.
Yeah.
It's like,
when we were at the Fuller Farmhouse and that group of individuals were asking questions, we got a distinct name, Mary. How many children do you have? 7. How many children are here? 2. What are their ages? 5 and 8. It was just too much for coincidence. One right after the other after the other. It was answering, and when we were at the Herkimer County Museum, and Rich had his portal there, and can you name anyone here? And it came through Travis. I'm like, whoa.
Him.
Yeah.
That guy. All right. Is there anybody here that would like to say anything? We're going to switch to AM.
All right, we're switching to AM.
All right, here we go.
That's my sweet rate wasn't on yet, so that's not.
Dude, they were not yelling at us. Holy crap. So that's what happens when you actually leave it on one single station. That'll happen. But I mean, really, you're scanning through. How many stations are you going through? I mean,
like I said,
you're going through like 10 or 12 per second.
Yeah, it's. That's why I said.
More than that.
Yeah, it's actually probably more than that. That's why if you hear sentences or even full words more than one syllable, that's not really possible with the scan rate. Like I said, you got all these great pedals you can adjust and get the sound you want.
You're kind of getting the clicks and pops here and there. And what that is there is a couple of stations that do have a higher decibel level that are actually picking that up, and that's creating the pop because it's going by so quick. It's just a snap. So you can't really listen for that. It's something that would be really drawn out. And it's like, okay, that's something we need to look at.
Like I said, with the 2-syllable word Mary, when we asked a name and it gave us a name of Mary, that's not possible with the scan rate. So, hello, is there anyone on the AM station who would like to communicate with us?
This is the AM.
Hi, and welcome to the AM version of Agent Paranormal. And we really kind of are like the bots and the scam and telemarketers of paranormal here. Yeah. Tell me, do you have any death insurance?
We're calling you from the afterlife about your car's extended warranty. Maybe that's what we're like to the spirits when we're trying to talk to them. Maybe we're like just spam callers. They're just sick of, oh God, here they are again.
Well, that explains why they swear at us and they call us names and stuff. We're looking for a spirit technician to give us a hand. Is there anybody there that can help us? Hello, my name is Kevin. This is Travis and Todd.
Hi.
We are looking for a spirit technician that can give us a hand here.
We're friends with Pete, if that helps.
I'm going to start a club called the Friends of Pete.
Pop. We're in the third dimension. What dimension are you in?
There's something there.
Yeah.
Very light.
Can you say that again? Is there something you wish to communicate to us? What is your name?
Again, you want to get very specific with all the spirits. You want to try and get as much out of them as you can. You want to try and get them to talk as much as you can. Along with that, you want to try and nail down who they might have been, names. Try and get dates if you can. Easiest way to get the date is ask, who's the president? We do have recordings. We have one that said Nixon. That was actually right here in Utica at the shops at the finish line.
Not every spirit's from the 1800s. Do you know who the president is?
Todd, I think you lucked out. You got a spirit void here in your studio.
We'll bring him in.
Actually, I'm fine with it.
We welcome any white light, positive being to communicate with us.
All right, we're going to be shutting down the portal. This is your last chance to give us any kind of message. Go ahead and give it a close.
All right. Thank you for your communications today. We do not give permission for any entity to follow us home. We're going to shut this off.
Or stay in the studio.
Or stay in the studio, sure. But we do thank you for your time. And we say goodbye to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All goes quiet. Until later.
Yeah, and then it pops on by itself.
That'll be like
Todd's not here.
poltergeist in here. All right, so that's the portal. It's a really awesome piece of equipment. I mean, Travis's is over the top and Salvador Dali-ish.
Go big or go home.
I'm going to go home. But, I mean, this is a higher tax bracket of the portal system. I mean, he did do pretty well price-wise. Pete's only, well, according to him to his wife, he spent $25.
That's all I spent.
But I mean, a lot of portals can run you upwards of $500 to $600.
Especially if you bought a pre-made one.
Yeah, well, pre-made, you're looking a little more.
Yeah, $8,000 to $1,000.
Yep. So, I don't know what else to talk about here, man.
We went over the history of them. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can contact us on Facebook or through our email.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any messages over there, Todd. Any questions?
Well, nobody wants to talk to us. I'm sorry, Rich couldn't be here tonight. He actually came down sick, and we wish him the best. Hope he gets better. Pete was also busy tonight, so you got stuck with Travis and I.
Sorry.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee. But, all right, I think we're going to wrap it up for this episode of Agent Paranormal.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tune in, I believe February 20th is going to be our next episode. That's going to be a great episode. We're going to try and get the Mohawk boys from the St. Regis Mohawk Reservation on, and they're going to talk a little bit about themselves. I know Chris has been featured a couple times on Ghost Nation. They both help out with investigations when it comes to Native Americans for ghost hunters. So with that, I'm Kevin. We got Travis, Todd in the studio.
See ya.
We want to thank you for joining us. We'll scare you later.